All right, big man. Today is Wednesday, September 25th. Welcome to the Dog Walk, presented by Barstool Sports. Free Swim Wednesday. Today, Danny is out, so Tate swapped in for him. Chief is here, and we are also joined by Joey Avery. Joey, you're a stand-up. You're in town. You're doing a show at Zany's. Welcome in.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, no, it's your buddies with Mook. Mook's like, hey, my buddy's coming in town. I also heard about you from some of my other buddies around here. So,
oh yeah, what did they say?
You come highly recommended. I'll just say
good.
that.
Okay.
Yeah, like I got this guy Joey Avery wants to do a show. I was like, all right.
Did anyone mention I got second place in the beer Olympics this year?
No.
Oh,
It's flying under the radar with that one.
wow.
Yeah,
I did not know that.
yeah, it didn't even make an impact. Yeah, I lost to the Will Compton Museum that you have down there.
Did he win? Will win?
Yeah, they did, and it was really fucking annoying.
Who was your partner?
David Bakhtiari.
Oh, shit. All right.
That could help.
Dude,
It does help.
How'd you do?
I did great. The chug, I almost like immediately projectile vomited and disqualified us, but I didn't. I kept it down, and I can play the games. It's just the chug is hard.
Yeah.
The chug is impossible, and that's a big chug. If it was
It's
the same,
three beers in one boot.
who can do
Each
that?
person had to do that?
Yes, for time.
And if you puked, your team is out?
Yeah, everyone was dragging me online because it was the first thing Barstool posted was Wacka Flocka chugging, and I was right next to him struggling, and all my friends were sending it around. I'm like, it's 3 beers. You do that.
Yeah, no, impossible.
Before we get into today's episode, I do want to talk about our friends at Game Time. Football season's here, and we can't wait to get out to some games this fall with the help of Game Time, the official ticketing partner of Barstool Sports. Listen, you know how much we love Game Time, but now with their brand new Game Time Picks feature, they're making it even easier than ever to get to a game. Game Time Picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. Chief, you saw something you liked, right?
Oh, I already pulled the trigger on this. It's Sturgill Simpson, so he hasn't toured in 5 years. He tore his vocal cords. He's coming to the Salt Shed. He's here Tuesday, October 1st. And Wednesday, October 2nd. You can get those on Game Time right now. Those sold out immediately. This is, if you want to go, you got to be on Game Time.
Yep. Just pull up your chosen event, turn on the GT Pick setting at the top of the screen, or browse the best local Game Time Picks deals near you on your Game Time app homepage. And yeah, hop in and get those tickets now with Game Time Picks. Download the Game Time app today. Use code DOGWALK to easily score great deals with new Game Time Picks. That's spelled DOGWALK. What time is it? Game time. We talked about this the other day. Beer bong or shotgun?
Oh,
You gotta slug one.
probably the beer bong, just because it doesn't let me get away with my bullshit.
Yeah.
On the shotgun, I'm a big, like, I'll do, like, 3/4 of it and then spike it like I win and just make a mess.
That's why you choose the shotgun.
Yeah,
is
yeah,
true.
yeah.
I guess I'm just trying to be ethical here.
Yeah.
No, but something's easier. You put it in a straw, you just stick it in your
kinda
mouth.
Oh, they
Suck.
go the beer bong. I haven't done a beer bong in forever, but those go down easy.
They're kind of legit.
Yeah.
I went to Dayton last year for March Madness, and someone came up to me with one of those, like, it's like a fucking shooter. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of like a syringe.
Oh yeah, I've seen those.
Oh, yeah.
You
Force
got
it in you?
Yeah, they're like, they just, and it like.
They hit you with the Fauci.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Fauci filled with beer. And this kid's like, you got to do it. Like, I'm like, all right.
I feel like that's new technology. That was not around when I was
It's
in
new.
college.
Yeah, I forget the name of it because they like, I don't know. In the end, like, they
Yeah.
had like stock in the company and they were, whatever. And I was like, sure. And then after I do it, I'm like, there's probably fucking a million college kids that had their mouth on that.
Totally.
I came home, I've never been sicker.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
just
that's
instant.
you have mono.
Yes,
Yeah.
instant sick. Yes.
Yeah.
So we were at Indy. We're recording this in advance, but that was the last time I did a beer bong. Have I told you that story?
No.
So I was down. My 2 best friends from college were Massachusetts guys. So we drove down from Chicago for that Patriots Colts, the 4th and 2 game, Sunday Night Football. If you guys remember that, Belichick went for a 4th and 2, and we're going through the tailgate, and we see a Patriots fan all fucking bloody, and we're like, "What happened to you?" And they're like, "I beeped at a guy who was blocking the car. They pulled me out of my car, beat the shit out of me."
In Indy?
In Indy. Exactly. Like you wouldn't think. You think they're all nice fellas.
Yeah.
We keep walking through. We see another Patriots fan, blood all over down his front. We're like, "What happened?" He's like, "I was just walking and someone threw a full beer can at my head." So I don't know where it came from, but it had like a big gash. Oh. So we're like, "Oh, fuck." So we're going to this tailgate with our other college buddy who's a Colts guy. And we're getting chirped. Like, people are following us, like, very hostile. This is like the peak of that rivalry. And I'm like, why the fuck did I come here with you guys? And then we get there, and there's this big, like 300-pound guy, shaved head on the sides with a long ponytail, Colts jersey, and he's just like in our face. And they were like, we're supposed to be at this tailgate. And then our buddy's uncle was like a state trooper, and it was his tailgate. And he was like, hey, they're fine. You can leave them alone. Like any other Patriots fan, feel free to fuck
You would
them
have got
up.
your ass whooped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're like nervous, kind of head on a swivel. But then we like settle in, we're having a good time. And the big 300-pound guy puts me in a headlock, and he's like, I want you to meet Jim Harbaugh. And I'm like, Jim Harbaugh? Why the fuck is Jim Harbaugh here? And this is like 2000, I don't know what year this was, 2010. And he brings me around back of the trailer. It's Jim Harbaugh. It's this giant beer bong. They have a guy standing up on the top of the of their RV. And he's like, you gotta do Jim Harbaugh. I'm like, I'll do Jim Harbaugh. So he's pouring a beer in, and then as he's pouring it in, someone else is pouring in vodka.
Oh.
And it must have been like, I don't know. It was like a long pour. It's not like a shot. It was like a lot.
Were you tasting it, or did it mix well?
It did not mix well. Definitely tasted it, because like you got like the beer first, and then you had like the taste of the beer with and it was not a good taste.
Okay, because I didn't hate mixing those back in the day. It was like a cheat code. to
Yeah,
get along.
and like
I feel like I can taste it right now though in a bong, and it does not feel it. The fact they were hiding the bong like around the back of something is not a good
and they
sign.
did it to all three of us like separately, and I was instantly like buckled and spinning, and I'm like, I no longer feel safe. Everybody around here is getting their ass kicked, because anyone that's dressed like you two guys. So I'm like, it was 4:00 at like a 7:00 game. I'm like, let's just go in the stadium. Let's just get out of here before it gets worse.
Were other fans doing this, or was this like a, hey, I know I'm not allowed to whoop your ass because he said so, but I'm gonna get
I
you.
think they were all doing the Jim Harbaugh. I don't know how many of them had the vodka mixed
the
in.
little
All
visitor
three of us
discount.
had the vodka mixed in.
Ugh.
And it was
That's because that's not the story with Indianapolis. I was there doing shows, and I was like, how are the games? And they're like, oh, they're boring. Everyone's like church going. People are barely drinking. I haven't been to an indie game, but the hell?
This guy's fucking got buzzer beaters going on.
I have a meeting at 12:30. I forgot about that.
It's like, does your watch trigger when we say Indianapolis doesn't rage?
That is your alarm?
I do have a funny story about that now that
What is that, like LeBron's buzzer beater in 2012, or what was that?
It's kind of embarrassing. I can't believe that just happened. I was a girls basketball coach in Ohio for 8 years.
Yeah.
And we lost by 3. We blew it at the end of the game in the regional, and the team that beat us by 3 went on to win by 30, by 30, and by 30, and they won the state championship.
Mm-hmm.
So that is the buzzer of them winning the state championship. So our whole team would wake up to that the next year.
Oh,
get
no
ready
shit.
damn. That's some good motivational stuff.
Yeah, it's still my alarm.
I was gonna say, and you kept it. You're still like those fucking bitches are not gonna get one over on me. I'm gonna be great today. I'm making this meeting.
Damn, Eddie, I just fucked you though. I have a
No,
meeting
you're
at
good.
12:30.
Bro. Step
Good.
out. You're fine.
For a little bit,
Yeah,
but I'm here
hang
for
out for a little bit more. No shit. I never changed that.
yeah.
I feel like you gotta keep that forever.
Recorded it off the TV and then sent it out and said, "This will be when we practice at 5 a.m. all summer. This is how you wake up."
Damn, I actually love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's old school.
Were you a
shit
suit
right
and
there.
tie coach?
My first year, I wore a suit and tie. I was 22 and I wore a suit and tie, and then I went jumpsuit for the next 8. And at the end of the year, you get like evaluations and everything. And I always got, whatever, but I always got low in professionalism because my athletic director thought that basketball coaches is a suit and tie job.
Really?
Fuck that.
You're more of a Huggy Bear guy.
I was full jumpsuit with Jordans or Dunks or whatever.
They're all kind of like that now,
Yeah,
right? Like
Yeah.
the suit and ties, I kind of don't.
gone.
Gone.
Yeah,
Is there anyone in the league who does that?
NBA, I think. Still.
NBA, but like
I'm trying to think of like a prominent college guy.
I don't think Steve Kerr wears a suit and tie.
No, they all wear like the quarter
Yeah.
zip.
Yeah.
Tibbs wears the quarter zip.
Yeah, I feel like Tibbs was early on the quarter zip.
Yeah.
Yeah, but now that's become like the predominant.
The standard.
Yeah.
Well, I'm a Niners fan, and Mike Nolan was our
yeah.
coach, and he tried to bring back the suit and tie, and then they just got rinsed every
Right.
game, and it's like, dude, you look like an idiot.
It's
Like,
not cool if you're going 4-12.
yeah, like you don't have to go to Men's Warehouse to eat shit on Sunday. Like,
It's the old Step Brothers line. Now the suits are kind of fucked up. Like now it's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
now the suits
Yeah.
are kind of fucked up. Yeah, but if you win, it's
so
Yeah.
It's one of those things. It's sweet if you win. If you lose, it's like, nice tie, buddy.
Like,
Yeah.
or like
And the
Jack
handshake.
Del Rio when he had like the big leather jacket for the Jaguars, which always looked ridiculous. But if they win, that hair's going, and they got the leather jacket.
Yeah.
This guy's kind of a badass.
Remember when the Texans showed up? I know they talk about it,
Yeah.
Patriots, but
Yeah.
they showed up in the varsity Letterman's jacket for the
Yes.
playoff game and then got fucking
They lost by like
washed.
50. Yeah.
it's just tough because you want to make a nice fashion statement, but you have to back it up.
Yeah.
yes, exactly.
I've been watching Peaky Blinders, dude, and they're all suited up, and I was kind of like, what if I just bring that back?
Dude,
Like going to like CVS in a 3-piece suit and just being like, hello, man.
when I first started watching that show, I don't know what year it came out, but they have like those, they call them a band collar.
Yeah.
Where I bought like
So
7
sick.
of those.
So sick.
They could only get them online, and I would like show up to like, I had a regular job back
Yeah.
then, so I was like, I'm gonna show up like I'm Tommy Shelby in all these meetings
Yeah.
without the suit, but just like it was like business casual with a band collar. I'm like, this looks great.
So tight.
And I got so many comments like, what are you wearing? I'm like, you don't know yet.
Yeah, you
This
don't
is-
even get it.
This is from the 1900s. Like you'll figure it out eventually.
The Bears did that in 2019. They came back. It was the 100th year anniversary of the Bears, and they all wore like old school shit. And it was to throw back to Hallis, and then we didn't score a touchdown.
And they
it's-
they opened the game running the T formation.
yeah,
And I'm like, this is sweet. And then they lost like 19-3. I'm like, that wasn't
Should have
sweet.
stuck to the T. You got to commit to it.
We didn't really have a quarterback. So it
No
wouldn't have been a
forward
bit-
passes.
Yeah.
Has been the Bears thing for a long time.
it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But no, did you ever give your answer on beer bong versus?
I'm
Shotgun?
definitely a beer bong guy. I think that whoever you were talking about, you can go like top shelf with it.
Yeah.
Tailgate in college, you could go 3 stories. It was cool. You could also mix different things in there. I think shotgunning, I'm a pussy about chugging. I think shotgunning
too.
is hard.
Yeah. But you can throw half the beer away.
That's true.
Yeah.
I did have in college, I had one move though, where I could, if you gave me a can, I could open it with my thumb where the shotgun hole is.
Oh, really?
You know what I mean? Yeah. So like if you be like,
You just got strong thumbs.
someone taught it
Find
to
the
me.
air bubble.
Yeah, you find the air bubble.
Yeah.
Someone taught it to me once where if you go like this and catch it at the right time, it'll literally just poke a hole in it.
Huh.
And so that's a cool party trick. But then I'd be like, and now, Chief, why don't you shotgun it?
I'm a man, but also I'm not.
Yeah.
I did my job.
I'm very experienced. This is why I know how to do this. So I'm
So
retired from this. But here, taste my thumb.
I fingered her. You can have the sex.
That's all there is.
Yeah.
No, I mean, yeah, I think I'd still go beer bong though.
Yeah.
But shotgun has its place, like you said. You could just fucking. But when it gets all over your shirt and shit, it gets all sloppy.
I had a buddy in high school who really wanted to be able to shotgun beers. So he would go home after school every day, get in the shower, like stand in the shower and just practice. 16 years old, practice. Fucking good at it.
Yeah.
How?
Was he
what's
doing it
up
with
to
beers?
now?
Was he like repping with
Yeah,
sparkling
no, he
waters?
was doing it with beers. He was doing it. He's like, I'm like,
Your buddy might have just been an alcoholic.
could have been.
I was going to say, he's got to be now, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I just remember we lived in Ohio and like the big move was to go down to Ohio State for the weekend. And he's seeing everyone shotgun beers. He's like, I'm going to be able to do that.
How do you feel about the people who know how to do the throat trick and they could just dump it in?
I can't do
Is
it.
that cheating?
That's Dana B.
I would pay.
No, he's slow.
I tried to learn before the Beer Olympics. I was like
you?
Googling it. I asked David Bakhtiari, I was like, I'm going to be your partner. Consult with me. Like, please help me. And like everyone who does it is like, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
Do you want to call him up and see if he wants to work for the Bears again? Because Big Cat sent him a text last week.
Did he?
Yeah, and he didn't say no.
See, I can't do that because I would have to ask him if, we could always use some help on the old 49ers. You know what I mean? Like,
Exactly, yeah. What if we do play this here?
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. I also got a baked-in excuse for chugging too. I got a deviated septum, so I'm always like, "Hey,
This
just
guy's got an excuse
you're
for
beating a
everything.
guy with a broken arm."
Do
Basically.
you drop
Yeah.
the term deviated septum?
Oh yeah.
Like, wish I could, but
Sorry.
yeah.
this is deviated.
Yeah, but if I beat you, that's
bad.
embarrassing.
Are you going to get that fixed?
You know what? I went recently, and they just kind of said it wasn't worth it. So
I like when they say that.
Yeah,
When you
yeah,
go to a
yeah.
doctor and you're like, fix me, and they're like, I wouldn't, and you're like, great, because I didn't want to. See ya.
fine. No sweat off my back for sure. But
I'd pay good money to be able to do the chug, like to just be able to do that. I think that's
just a gulp.
the people that like you see them at bars, like chugging contests or tailgates or whatever, and they can just go boom.
Yeah.
I think a lot of it's desire. Like, there's the throat trick, and then there's just like, how much do you want it?
Yeah,
You know?
I never wanted it.
I think I don't want it that much.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like putting pace on it. Like I'll drink. Like me and my friends are still. I mean, I'm 33 and we're still playing Mario Kart, where you have to chug a beer before the end of the race, and we do it every weekend.
It's the best.
It's the best. And so I can put pace on it that way, but you split it over 3 laps.
Yes.
Like it's the all at once.
Yeah.
Just that I'm burping.
a lot.
I'm like, dude, I'm a grown man, and I'm like, my tummy hurts.
Yeah.
My tummy's been hurting all day.
I looked at you. Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, and so is Tate's.
That made me like your friends. So
Yeah.
Yeah, they're good people. We've been doing it since high school. We have not quit.
it's the best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What were you gonna say?
You know what? I had something.
You were thinking about your tummy, huh?
Well, you threw me off, and now I'm focused on the
sorry.
tummy.
What's wrong with the tum?
Dude, I don't know. I had food poisoning like 2 days ago, and it just has not been quite perfect yet. Yeah.
A little wobbly.
Yeah.
What's the line with food poisoning?
What do you mean?
Right? Like, is it just you get a stomach ache, or like you got to see an actual puke and
Dude,
shit?
I was puking. I had a fever. I was shitting my brain out.
The PNS, I think.
Yeah. It was like 6-7 hours of just like hell. And then by like 10, 11, I was like, all right, like I'm starting to come out of this. And I went to bed, woke up feeling mostly fine.
What do you think it was?
I only had 2 things that day.
Oh,
So I had a coffee.
head to head.
Yeah. I had a coffee, and then I had a sandwich from this place not too far
I
away.
don't think it was.
And I love that place, so I don't want to like call them out and be like, I got food
What
poisoning.
type of sandwich?
It was ham and cheese. Yeah.
I wonder if it's that there was like a recall on a certain boar's head
This
that
place
went out to a bunch of places. And
Yes.
boar's head is like good meat, and there was a
Yeah.
recall on it.
Yeah.
So you might have got the whatever it
I
is,
don't know.
salmonelli.
Yeah, maybe that could have been it, but it moved fast.
Yeah.
It was a rough evening.
It's tough.
Yeah.
I only got food poisoning once, and it's because I did a surf and turf in Arizona, which, if you don't know,
Bad surf there.
landlocked. Yeah. Probably didn't need the lobster to add to the
Yeah.
steak out there.
Yeah.
And I was at spring training watching baseball. I was just in the hotel, just spraying bowl.
Yeah, not great.
I don't know if I've ever had it.
You'd know.
Yeah.
I've only had it once, and it was like one of the most memorable 6 of my life.
Yeah, I've probably had it 3 times.
Yeah.
I remember once I was on like a work trip to California, and I'm like, I had to cancel all my meetings.
That was it.
Stayed in the hotel.
You're
yeah,
done.
yeah.
A friend of mine got it on his trip to propose to his now wife because
no.
they ate airport sushi on the way.
Big mistake. You would think that the airport sushi
It's fresh. They fly right
would
into
be
the
yes,
port.
yes, exactly. It would be the freshest you could get.
But they might not have the best fishmongers
They
there.
probably don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, and then I think it's all about the refrigeration and the warmth, and then the back and forth. I think that's no good.
Yeah.
I think you're right about that.
Right? That's
There's probably something to that. We'll have to get our guy Johnny Fish on.
Yeah. Is there a big like? Are you like a seafood snob growing up in the Bay?
I wouldn't. I don't know. I guess
It's okay if you are.
I was gonna say no.
Yeah.
But then now, after living in San Francisco, a little time in LA, and now living in New York, I would say yeah.
Yeah.
Like I sushi in particular, I can tell if it's gonna be good or
Really?
Yeah.
Just by sizing it up or first taste?
depending on how low they bow. It's a little bit of both. You
Yeah.
can just kind of tell by the whole. You can tell when you look
Yeah.
at it.
Yeah.
There's like a paleness to it.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that all because you want it fresh, right? But I didn't
Yeah.
realize that all sushi is frozen.
almost all
It has to be by law.
seafood is frozen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To get rid of the.
Yes.
Yeah.
From what I understand, I went on a cruise one time, and it just so happens there was a seafood convention on the cruise, and there was these old guys that were fucking awesome, and they were just drinking every night, and we ended up becoming friends with them, and they were telling us, they're like, listen, unless like certain spots in Maine, every place has to be frozen at some point.
Yeah.
That's what he said.
It's required. Otherwise, there's like all sorts of bacteria and shit.
Yeah.
So like fresh seafood is not.
Yeah. But even like when did you do the factory tour of Supreme Lobster? Were you with me?
I wasn't at
Okay.
that. No.
So they would bring in, they get the fish directly from the fishmongers, and they fly them in or however they get it. And you would see like a fish, like a giant tuna with no head, and they just slice us off pieces of that.
Damn.
So it was, I'm sure it was frozen in transport, but it was just like, that's just a big ass fish.
Yeah.
Just eating it right
It's
off.
so good.
It was,
dude. When it's
it
good,
was
it's-
awesome. And that was the only time I ever had caviar either, because I was always kind of grossed out by it. And it was
Yeah.
like, why am I going to spend $1,000 for an ounce of something that looks and sounds gross, and then I tried it for our video. I'm like, I get it. Shit's
Caviar is
awesome,
awesome, but it's the ultimate. The best caviar you'll ever have was purchased by your friend's rich dad.
Yeah.
Like I would never buy it, but when you're at an event where it is, I'm just posted up, just eating all of it because I'm like, this is a financial opportunity.
I'll do this because I can. I've actually never.
My next shit's gonna be worth like $6,000. After
I'm gonna sell this shit.
People would eat this shit.
Yeah.
NorCal, is it better than SoCal, like fish wise, seafood wise?
I think I mean it's very place to place.
Yeah.
I'm from the Bay Area. I went to college in San Diego, and then I spent 2 years I think in LA doing stand up before moving to New York. So I've got a good grip on the state.
Yeah.
I've lived in all three spots, and I can confidently say LA is the third best of those cities.
Okay.
SF and San Diego I like way better. But food wise, there's some really, really good restaurants in LA.
Good spots.
Yeah.
I would assume.
Yeah. Makes sense. You know where a place I've always been infatuated with? Santa Cruz.
That's close to where I grew up.
Is it?
That was my local beach. So I was like 20 minutes. I lived just over the hill from Santa Cruz.
Okay.
Why
Have you been?
Why?
Never been.
Why are you obsessed with Santa Cruz?
Let's get the infatuation.
So, you are the most random fucking guy of all
Dude,
time.
I just
Banana slugs? Is that what got you?
No.
We do love the slugs, though. It's great merch. It's an incredible mascot.
Yes, it is. It's very nice. Have you ever seen The Lost Boys?
No.
No. So it's a movie. It was a film that was set there. Came out in like the late 80s, early 90s. And it had like Corey Feldman, Corey Haim, Kiefer Sutherland. And just like the way that the boardwalk and everything looks, I'm just like,
Place is sick.
that place is awesome.
Sometimes you're drawn to somewhere.
Yes,
And I
exactly.
think this is a good one because it really is. You know, when I was in high school growing up, we would like get in my friend's car and drive over the hill, and we'd be like pumping like white boy reggae and like going to the beach and like all with our like, you know, skateboarding stickers on, vans. And like that culture is a real thing. And it was like what I was into in, high school and college. And it's a really cool place.
Yeah, and it's so unique. I was born and raised here, so like we don't have boardwalk. Like Navy Pier's not a boardwalk. It's just totally different
Forest
vibe,
route.
totally different look. You know what I mean? So to see that, and I think the Jordan Peele movie Us, I think they set that there. And so every time there's like I'm like, I don't know. I don't know why I've never been.
Ed's gonna retire there. It sounds like
It's it's genuinely awesome.
But people do kind of dog on it sometimes, right? People dog on California in general.
I was gonna say, like, depending on where you are in Santa Cruz, you could get kind of the flip side of the cool surf skate culture is the like dusty drifter shitbag kids, kind of floating around, and
when those kids grow up, they
remain there. They become part of the street.
Yeah.
And so that exists to some extent, but also there's incredible breweries, there's great restaurants. It gets a little foggier than your average beach town, but I feel like you might be into that.
I think I am.
There's redwood forests right there.
Those are so sweet.
It's a rolling mountains. It's cool.
All right, good.
I think you should keep that infatuation.
Okay, all right, good.
Dude, the redwoods. I always we did this trip where we did RVs with another family all across the country. We left from Chicago and like did the whole PCA or PCH. And we like went through the redwood forest as part of that trip. And I'm like, how is this place even real? Like those trees are like you drive your car through them. Like they're insane. It blows your mind that something like that exists.
It's crazy, and that's one of the reasons I'm such a homer. Obviously, you guys are too. I think it's great. It's great to love home. It's I'm like Sharks, Niners, Giants, Dubs,
skateboard.
But also part of it is the particular part of the Bay Area. I grew up in Silicon Valley, and where my parents' house was, I could take off from my parents' house and go for a walk and be in a redwood forest.
That's insane.
And like it's hard to quantify that on your mental health.
You grew up in Silicon Valley then?
Yeah.
So is it like you go to Chipotle and it's like Google, YouTube? Like is it kind of?
It's just nerds and invests.
Is that
tech
like,
bros?
Yeah. Is that kind of?
There's a lot of that. Yeah. That's just kind of like normal life out there. I mean, when I was starting off in stand up. Some of my earliest years were in San Francisco. My job was I did tech sales recruiting and I did tech sales. And that's what I would do all day is just work in tech and then go do open mics at night.
Okay.
And it was definitely like during like Silicon Valley, like money wasn't real days where every office had, a ping pong table and a
Sleeping pod.
yeah. And like, I know ping pong table was like the least impressive thing out of the stuff that people, everyone has that, but like there was some crazy stuff.
I bet. Hey, let's pause for one more second here because I want to talk about Ghost Energy. It's a fully transparent, fully loaded, feel-good energy with 0 sugars, no artificial flavors, and 200 milligrams of natural caffeine with a fully transparent label and that actually showcases every ingredient amount of what's in the can. It heightens your focus. It's got great flavors. Chief, I just had the sour strips flavor.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Like I was sitting there and I'm like, there's no way they're going to be able to top Welch's grape. And then I try that sour strips and it's right there with it.
Dude, the Welch's grape is good.
Yes.
It's so good. It's better. You think the which one was that? Say it again.
I will release my flavor ranking at some point.
Okay.
But the sour strips it's up there.
Okay. Well, they have 15 different flavors. So it's going to be, I feel like it's going to be hard to get. What are you doing? A top 8? Eddie's 8?
Yeah, I'll do an Eddie's 8. There's
Okay.
something for everyone. That's for sure.
Okay.
The flavor match is just incredible. So
Yeah.
find Ghost Energy at your local grocery or convenience store. I saw they're at Costco now, which is awesome.
Nice.
Or you can check out the full lineup of flavors when you visit drinkghost.com. Go check out Ghost. We're pumped to have them on board. It's good stuff. And on that note, let's get back into the episode. I bet. How was your meeting, Tate?
I mean, it was just I'm going to Los Angeles this weekend for some event.
Oh, okay.
They're like, did you read the email? I did. All right, well, we don't have much to add then.
That's how you know things are getting a little corporate again.
I was going to
It's
say.
a little too corporate around
corporate
here.
bloat right there.
Yeah.
They gave us a couple things to remember, but yeah.
Okay.
Sometimes with a trip,
Do you want to call out the sales guy?
No, it was. Listen, I'm excited. This is my
Okay.
first. This is my first Barstool trip, so
Okay.
I'm pumped.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Who's the
That's why you read the email.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What's the crew?
So we're going out. We're going to away games for like USC Michigan is at Michigan.
Yeah.
So we're going to USC to a
Yep.
bar like to promote whatever.
oh, that's funny.
It was supposed to be me, Titus, and Chaps, which cool. And then Titus had to back out. Chaps had to back out, which doesn't say much for me. But we've added Billy football.
Oh, there you go.
I'll meet Billy for the first time.
You're in Bill football. There you go.
Yeah.
Fun.
That'll be fun. That's my one non-Bay Area team is I'm a Michigan fan.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so
love
I
it.
am not feeling great about this weekend. I guess this pod will air after the fact.
Yeah.
And hey, 1 and 2 is not bad.
Yeah. Where did you go to college?
UC San Diego.
Okay.
So my grandpa went to Michigan, so like it was Bay Area everything, but my like family's ultimately
Yeah.
from Michigan. My grandpa went there, and I never had a reason to switch. Nothing
Yeah.
against the UC San Diego Tritons, but we don't have a football team.
Is that where Harbaugh was a coach?
He was at University of San Diego.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he actually, I'm friends with the Bakhtiari family. He coached the other Bakhtiari.
Oh,
families there.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, he's been dude. Harbaugh is just the man.
I
He
agree.
just wins everywhere.
So what's funny is he went to Ohio State.
Yeah, I'm a big hater.
Yeah. So I'm like, so how would you classify this? Is Joey a Walmart Wolverine or no?
What's your connection?
My grandpa went there, so I have like since I was like 3, I've been a fan. I was like on the field kicking field goals as a 3-year-old.
I'll allow it.
Yeah.
I'll allow it. I'm not. You can only go there person.
Okay.
Like I'm fine with that, but I'm not fine with.
I picked it up.
All I'm saying is there's been a whole heck of a lot more Michigan shirts walking around the streets of wherever the past couple years when they've gotten good.
Yeah, if you weren't there with Brady Hoke, if you don't remember the excitement of Rich Rod and then that failing,
Yeah.
then you're not.
I don't, and I'm definitely.
Denard and Rich Rod. I'm like,
Yeah.
he's got it. He's got it figured out.
I thought it was going to be so sick.
Yeah.
The one that bothers me fandom wise, and it's not like a huge deal, but it's the one where it's like fan here, also fan
And
here,
here, yeah.
also
Like
here.
they're a Yankees, Lakers.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like you're from the area and you're a Notre Dame fan. You
Yeah.
didn't go to, who cares? Like
Right.
You're a Notre
I
Dame
would,
fan.
It would, but in my thing, like my dad was always a Notre Dame fan because he would watch him on replay in like the 50s or the 60s probably on Sunday morning.
Mm-hmm.
So where he was living, he would get up in the morning, watch Notre Dame from like 8 until 10 and then go to church. And that was like the routine. So he kind of got me into it. And then when I was a kid, like Rudy came out when I was like 7. And then they played. I remember like the first college football game we ever watched was Notre Dame Florida State, which is like one of like the all-time classic games, and I was hooked since then. So, and it is like the Chicago.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Totally. Like if I didn't go to Ohio State, I still grew up there my entire life.
Yeah.
I'd be an Ohio State fan.
Yep.
That's not like a qualifier to be a fan. But it's the people that are like, yeah, I'm actually a Dolphins fan, but then a Lakers fan, but also a Celtics fan.
You better have a very good
Yeah.
I like them because of their current players is the most annoying thing, which is actually hilarious because you should generally root based on the people that are there, but that's not how it works.
No,
Like,
you
if
root
you're
for
a
the
fan-
laundry.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
do. If you're a fan, like it should come. Like if you have a therapist, it should come up. Like it should be part of your formative memories. Like it should be wedged in there.
Why do you think you look at everything with such a negative light? Well, I've been rooting for the Bears for 30 years. Yeah.
How are you? Can I ask how your buddies with Bakhtiari?
Yes, the first job that I had when I was in tech sales recruiting was like recruiting is like, especially at an agency, it's like almost all women. And one of the other dudes there was his brother, Andrew.
no shit. Okay.
And we became good friends.
Gotcha.
And then through us being friends, David came out to visit, and he came and saw me. He saw me do stand-up before I had like any fan base, before I could sell tickets anywhere. He started sharing my videos before I had any following. He's like always been the biggest supporter. Like, dude, you're gonna blow up. Let me know what I can do to help. Before I had any momentum at all. So he's like a genuinely awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard he's a good dude. What's funny is too is obviously we talked about Big Cat and Bakhtiari, and Dana. Do you know who Dana is? Dana Beers.
I know who he is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So Dana, it's one of my favorite things, and we still joke about it to this day. So probably it was like 2021 maybe, and he was like he drinks beers. If people out there listening don't know, and that's like his thing. He
Dana Beers.
just chugs beers.
wild
Yes, exactly. It's a wild thing, and
He's awesome at it.
yeah, he's good at it.
You got to be good.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because a lot of us are doing it. You got to do it at a high level.
Yes, exactly. And he came to Chicago because he was going with Bakhtiari to the Bucks playoff game, and they were going to chug beers on the Jumbotron. And he went there, and that's what he chose over going to Marina's wedding. Remember that?
That's
and
right.
So
I
this
forgot
girl
about
at the
that.
company's wedding, and so that happened, and it snowballed into this whole show with Portnoy, and everyone was calling him a scumbag or whatever. So every time like I see him, I'm like, remember when you drink beers with Bakhtiari to miss your friend's wedding?
How close were they? Close enough to get invited to the
Yeah.
wedding.
Yeah, close enough to get invited, and he had something else too. Like I'm not, there was something else happening, a
Let's
cancellation.
just shit on him.
I don't know.
Yeah,
No,
don't-
Dana's like one of my best friends here,
Yeah.
but like it was, but it just ever since then. it's like,
That's what Dave seems to be good at.
Yes.
Is just noticing one weakness, one thing you did wrong, and being like, let's make a week of content about this for every show to be able to pivot on.
Yeah.
exactly.
And I think like Portnoy went to that wedding, and I think he had something that like very important that he canceled. Wasn't that part of the story? He's like,
Yeah.
"Oh, I
That
didn't go."
always
Yeah.
takes it to the next level. You're
Yeah.
like, oh, you think you had something
Right.
cool to
Yeah.
do?
Right.
Yeah. So I was like, "Hey, you going to this?" It's like, no. It's like, what the fuck? You drinking beers with Bakhtiari? Like, it's just like it's become like such a punchline in our friendship, where and it's all because of him drinking beers.
Yeah.
So that's really it.
That's funny.
Just two beer guys.
That's it.
Two guys who know how to chug. I mean, I think he did the right thing.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Has he gotten that offer ever again? That might have been a once in a lifetime.
No, I don't. Well, I think he was on the Jumbotron at the Bucks game earlier in that season.
Okay.
it was
Yeah, that
double,
doesn't
yeah.
help. Doesn't help. But she might get married twice. So,
Could happen.
Exactly.
yeah.
Good point.
I think he just, hey, I'm a slave to content, no matter
Yeah.
what. So
I'm working.
yeah.
This is my job.
Exactly. But yeah, it was quite the controversy at this place.
Yeah.
because that's the way it is. What are you got 5 shows this weekend?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Damn.
Yeah. Zanies. It's fun. It's nice. It's nice when you get a club weekend and it's all in one place. Because it's like last weekend I was on tour with a comedian who can do like big theaters, dude Noel Miller. And it was like we were on a plane 3 straight days. Because we did Madison, Detroit, Minneapolis, back to back to back. And this is like, get to come to Chicago, be here for 3 days and just,
Hang out.
You're hitting the whole
super fun
Midwest.
club.
Yeah.
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 What's
Yeah.
your take on the Midwest? Are you in or you out?
I like it.
Yeah?
It's place to play.
His voice went up real
Yeah,
high.
No, I did.
It was a long pause and a high
not
voice.
moving here. I'm not moving here.
It's good.
I like it. I like it.
Please come to my show.
These are some of my favorite places to do comedy, without a doubt. because you do get a mix of perspectives. You know, you got a lot of swing states out here, which is always good for comedy because it means people are used to hearing opposing perspectives. You can talk about more stuff. People know what's going on to a high degree. To the extent that the towns are awesome, like the food is good, the bars are fun, and that's great while I'm here. And to the extent that sometimes some of the towns can kind of suck, that's a great place to sell tickets.
Yeah.
Those are the best. Sometimes I'll come in the winter and people are like, you don't want to go in the winter. I'm like, oh, I do. Because if it's hot, they're on a fucking boat and they're not coming to my show.
Good point.
Correct.
But no, Chicago, I love. This, I could actually live in Chicago. The rest of the Midwest, I prefer for short stints.
Yeah.
Fair.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with where you're sitting right now, right?
What?
I could live here.
I could live here.
Chicago's very different.
Chicago.
Don't get me wrong. I'm not
a few levels up from Detroit.
I'm not going to live here, but I certainly could do it.
If I was forced to, I could do it.
I actually do like Chicago, and I've always liked it. I mentioned your grandparents in Michigan. I would come here as a kid. You know.
Yeah.
And it's a great town.
Yeah.
Where in Michigan?
St. Joseph.
Oh yeah, right around the lake.
So it's like closer to this.
than
Ann
Arbor, probably. Yeah.
My sister got married there.
It's beautiful.
Oh really?
Yeah, nice little
it's awesome, right?
beach town. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. No, I mean, yeah, that's kind of where we go for like the summers.
Yeah.
You know, for like a weekend or whatever.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
And like, you know, in growing up in California, it feels like everyone's parents were from the Midwest, at least like the era that I grew up in, because so many people just moved because their parents had moved here to build cars or whatever people did back in the day. And so everyone was like Ohio, Michigan, but most people didn't go back, and I would go back every summer and they'd be like, how was that? And I'm like, it was amazing.
It's great.
Beach is awesome. Yeah. Vibes are high. It's lovely.
Yeah.
America's crazy, man.
It's
you know,
so
just
big.
like it's so big. There's so many like different, obviously, topography or whatever the fuck it's called.
I've seen these TikToks from like English people who are spending the summer in the United States, and they're like, I get why Americans haven't, traveled much because this place is huge.
You have it all.
Yeah. Like, you can go from, what would be Greece to Chicago, and it's like that, that's just America. Like Greece to like Denmark is like from Florida to Chicago. So it's like no wonder they don't get out because they have so much to see. I still feel like that. I've been all over the country and I still feel like I got a lot left to see.
I kind of feel the exact opposite how you do. Like you come to the Midwest for short stints. That's how I view like the big cities and like the vacation destinations. I still prefer to live in like a small town. Yeah. Not much going, and then like those are your destination spots.
So do you live outside of Chicago?
I just moved here.
Okay, but you live in Chicago.
Now I do.
But you prefer a small town.
Yeah, I lived in a small town for 30 years of my life, and then just moved here in March.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
How are you liking living in?
I mean, it feels like a vacation every single day. Like it's like, but
when did you move here?
March. Yeah.
Okay, so you got a winter.
Do you listen to the Jason Aldean song to kind of bring it back?
Yeah. I'm a country music guy.
Try that. Small town.
What are you having a protest? Try that in a small town.
Well, this weekend was crazy.
Yeah.
What? You guys didn't tell me that was coming.
I didn't know it was coming.
What happened?
It was Mexican Independence Day.
Which I didn't know they had two Independence Days.
Just rowdy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just celebrating.
I took Ben Mintz home and after the Sunday night football game, trying to be a nice guy. It took me 40 minutes.
That's what I'm
to go
saying.
A mile.
Yeah. Mexican, Polish. What else is crazy like that?
Venezuelan. Yeah, like the Venezuelan.
Lately. I mean, St. Patrick's Day.
St. Patrick's Day, obviously, yeah.
Yeah, you guys dye the river and all that. I didn't know you had a large Mexican population out here. I would not have.
Chicago is a third white, black, Hispanic.
Yeah, I think.
Really?
Yes.
I think for population of Mexicans, it goes Mexico City, L.A., Chicago.
I've never seen anything like it. My building wouldn't let me in my building. Like my building like opens the door and it was locked and I'm like
I live here.
Let me in, and the guy hits me with one of these. Yeah. It was like 1 a.m. Hits me with one of these. I'm like, no way are you leaving me out here. so he lets me in. I said, what is going on? He explained. He said it's very dangerous times out here, and they've been drinking and they've been doing this and this. I'm like,
You're like, what do you mean?
You're like, I know, I'm trying to get home.
let me in.
Yeah.
Did you see that fight at the Sphere they did for it?
At the I didn't even watch it. I was at the One Bite Fest.
God, it looked unbelievable.
Did it? I don't know. I really wanted to see it. I haven't even seen clips or anything.
I was watching like an illegal stream on my phone, like at a bar in Minneapolis, but it looked unbelievable. I mean, it's like, to me, I'm like, this is going to change entertainment. The inside of it and the buildup that they did for each fight, it was like Mexico is a long history of fighters.
Have you guys been to the Sphere?
No, not yet. I remember I was out in Vegas 2.5 years ago, and they were still under construction. And I didn't know it was being built. So like when my Uber was taking me from the airport, I was like, what the hell is that? Because it looks like they're building – at that point, it looked like the Death Star. Like, why are you guys building a Death Star in Vegas? And they're like, that's this new concert hall. I'm like, wow, that's probably going to be fucking sick.
I thought there was a chance that it could suck just because I think it's James Dolan.
Yeah,
It's the like Matt, but
Yes.
yeah.
Maybe Brunson helped with it. I don't know.
Yeah. He touches. People are in.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did the NHL draft there this
Which
year.
looked – the NHL fumbled it again. Hockey's my favorite sport. And I just watched him like, this could have been so much cooler than.
I know. I was amped. So I'm a Sharks fan, right? And that team means a lot because I grew up basically in San Jose. So like they're the team that's down there, and all the years we were good and
You guys
never
were great for a long time. Yeah.
It was like I played hockey just because of the Sharks. Like it's like a big thing out there. My friends and I were all the group chats were going. Everyone was just bricked. We knew what was going to happen.
Big Jonathan Chichu guy.
Love Cheech, dude. He just all he needed was Joe Thornton to unlock his stick, and then
here's 40 goals and probably $50 million. You're welcome.
And he was never like good again.
No, he sucked. It made me think. Then I'm like, man, if I could just get on the Sharks, like I'm a D3 player, I could
One of those guys.
I could probably pot 20.
I do
Jumbo.
think, if I was playing next to Jumbo or if I played quarterback for Kyle Shanahan, like these are two things that I'm like, I think I
might be able
to hack it.
Do this,
Just need the right situation,
right,
you know?
Are you a Barracudas fan too?
I don't watch a ton of Barracudas, but shout out to the Barracudas. I got to drop the puck there.
Oh, cool.
That's cool.
Yeah, that was cool. Yeah.
So when I was telling you, we went to the Coliseum to see the A's White Sox game, and we met this guy. His name was Right Field Willie. He's been to every A's game since.
I love those.
That's awesome.
Yes, for
Bleacher
20 years.
creature.
Yes, and he's on borrowed time at his A's situation. But he said,
is he going to die when they leave? Do you think he'll just perish out of sadness, like when Biden stopped running?
Yeah. Or like the guy who quit smoking after 50 years and then they die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, it's like that. He said the only games he would miss is to go to Barracudas games. Yes. Yes.
Guy loves sports when no one else is there.
Yes. Yes.
Like, I just want a private viewing of this pro
That's all.
sports team.
Yeah. He didn't even like the Sharks. He just
likes the Kudas.
Yeah.
That's awesome of
Yeah.
him. I actually am a huge fan of the San Jose Giants.
Oh.
It's just the single A. I just minor league baseball in general.
Yeah, minor league
Minor
baseball's
baseball's
fun.
awesome.
Yeah.
I actually had a Sharks starter jacket.
That was like one of the cool ones to have.
They're a premier starter jacket
Yeah.
team.
Yes. They definitely are.
I was actually had this conversation with, do you know Chris O'Connor and Tommy Pope stuff on? They did PMT one time.
Okay.
They're comedians. We were having a conversation at Skankfest, this comedy festival, and they were just like, Sharks fan, that's the premier starter jacket team, and we're just getting ripped at a bar. And I went online and I bought like 3 vintage 90s Sharks starter jackets. The best decision I've made in my entire life.
I really do think it was them and the Hornets. Like those were
Hornets
the
got a
top
case.
two. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hornets. Yeah, I'd give Hornets the edge slightly, but Sharks.
Hornets were nice.
Yeah.
Hornets were real nice.
How is Skankfest?
It's insane.
Yeah.
It's really fun. I mean, the shows that I were on were like, I was like, the last thing I wanted to do was comedy, but to be with like the whole community just getting ripped and like everyone's on Let's Send It time.
Yeah.
Pretty great.
The fans are just wild too.
Fans are wild. Yeah. Yeah.
Do you know what Skankfest
Is it
is?
like the Legion of Skanks?
Yes.
Yeah, I've heard of it.
Yeah. We actually, later that night, same night as starter jacket night, I was with those two guys, Chris O'Connor and Tommy Pope, and they're Shane Gillis's boys.
Mm-hmm.
And we're with Shane, and we all partook in a substance, and we lost Chris, and that is because his brain works a little differently, and he decided that he needed to see the mountains.
Nice.
So he flew to Colorado.
Oh my god.
Oh.
Was he done with his performance and shit?
No, he missed a huge opportunity the next day. I was like, what happened?
Where
He's like,
was this?
We were in Vegas.
Okay.
And he
And there's-
loves mountains.
Yeah.
You know, he's a big topography guy. He has these books about mountains, and I think he like needed some space from the event, so he threw on some like Planet Earth vibes, and he was like looking at Aspen like, I gotta
go.
fucking see this. He bought a ticket. He flew out at 5 a.m. still rolling.
Jesus.
Whoops.
Did he have regrets after? Or was he like, yeah, fuck it?
I mean, it's one of the funniest things he's ever done. So story-wise, it's great. But I asked him the next day, I'm like, how are you? And he was like, oh, I'm in a hotel in Denver watching Sunday Night Football with crippling anxiety. He's like, we were supposed to do Tim Dillon's show that day, but I couldn't do it. But he did end up getting to see the mountains.
Good.
Good. Yeah.
So
They're beautiful.
It's a happy. They are
Yeah.
really lovely. I mean,
Spectacular.
you know, there's no substitute for.
Purple Mountain Majesty, baby.
Yeah. That's it.
Yep.
The Sphere is no match.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll leave Vegas.
Yeah. It's only an imitation of what God truly made.
Exactly. Exactly. When's the next one? Are you doing it again?
The next one, I think, is in a week or two. I don't know. Whatever it is, I'm on the road, so I
Oh, you're
yeah,
right.
I
Gotcha.
have my own. I actually might be this weekend. I'm not
Oh,
even
no
sure.
shit.
It's some point of September or October, and I'm on the road, so I couldn't do it.
Got you. All right, then. We could wrap this up. I'm sorry that we're airing this a week later so people can't see you, but
Oh, no worries. Well, I appreciate you having me on. I post
course.
clips every week. It's just Joey Avery on Instagram. I have a podcast called The Joey Show.
and we got people everywhere. So where
Yeah.
you at next?
The weekend that this airs, I'll be in Baltimore,
Okay.
and then I've got Edmonton, Portland, Vancouver, Belmore, New York, Houston. I've got Minneapolis, Austin. Like a bunch of stuff will be coming down the road. JoeyAvery.com/live
There you go.
All right.
for all tickets.
There we go.
Edmonton will make you miss Madison and Minneapolis.
Edmonton. So Edmonton, I do like.
Okay.
But not because anyone else needs to go there.
Okay.
Like
Yeah.
I like it because it's fun and
Yeah.
the crowds are just nuts and people are crazy up there, and it's like it's just one of those experiences where you're like, why else would I be here? And as a hockey fan,
Yeah.
I feel like you kind of glorify shitty parts of Canada just because of their good teams.
Yep.
So
They're the pinnacle of that. Yeah.
yeah, they are.
That's all. They have Gretzky and McDavid, and that's their entire
And that's
culture.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I've really never thought about that, but I don't think I would have ever thought of Canada if it weren't for the NHL.
Not a
You wouldn't have
chance.
thought of it.
Yeah.
Canada's sweet.
I know I'm not
Yeah.
this is not an anti-Canada take.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just saying I know all these cities and it's
Oh,
because
like
puzzled.
yeah.
I associate
Yeah.
it with their hockey team.
It's like a lot of cities like deep south that just because of college football, you're like, damn, Tuscaloosa would be a
Exactly.
vibe.
Yeah, it is.
Exactly.
That's a great comp. Actually.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like I would have nothing to say to someone from Ottawa besides like, how about those Sens?
Yeah.
You know? I had nothing.
Danny Hately, baby.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
right.
I think that's fair.
100%.
Yeah, I think that's
I'm on the
fair.
same wavelength.
Edmonton, hey, how do you feel about the oil?
Yeah.
You know, I went to Cancun when I was 18. There was a bunch of Calgary Flames fans there. And we were all chanting Flames in 6, show your tits. I was like, fuck.
Sounds like the ideal
Yeah.
Cancun experience to me.
Yes, exactly. Well, sweet. Go check out Joey.
Yeah.
And,
I
for having
already
me.
followed him on social. You want to shout out those two?
yeah.
What's up?
I already followed you, so you want to shout out your socials? People can find
Oh
you there
yes,
too?
at Joey Avery on Instagram, Joey Avery Comedy on TikTok. If you plug Joey Avery into your search,
You're
engine,
gonna find it,
I'll be
yeah.
He'll
there.
show you,
baby.
okay.
Not
Maybe like Bakhtiari's on the second page or something. You know,
He'll be. He's in the first photo dump, so he's on there. Yeah.
there we go. Beautiful. All right, Joey. Thank you, man.
Thank you.